appreciate there's going to be a lot of people that are familiar with Telepopmusik, and then there's going to be some people that don't really know the history, but there's a few songs that they would know. So just to give a brief overview, Telepopmusik is a French electronic music duo composed of Two Square and Antipop.
We used to be three people. Like at the beginning of Telepopmusik, there was a third member.
Yeah.
And he left the band in 2000. We're still very good friends, but he was tired to make music. So now he made a library company who was proposing some music library for some licensing and commercials. So now we are two people.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I actually wanted to get onto. You did start off as a trio, and it's quite good that you were able to maintain the relationship even after one of them breaking off. But how did that impact you at the time? Did you have to kind of change anything artistically, or
we start the band, Stéphane, Two Square, and me, and then Fabrice joined. So we were used at the beginning to do some tracks together, but the thing is, like, when you're starting to be a duo, it's that you have to agree all together, because when you're three people, that's the power of bands with three people, that there's always a majority. So it's more easy to make decisions when you're three people than two people. But actually it wasn't when you're on the same line. It can go fast. Well, actually it took us like more than 10 years to finish this album, but but it's still okay.
I think a lot of people would put you under various genres, and I'm not sure if you would agree, but I'll list some, and you can let me know if you would agree being placed under this kind of particular genre of music. The ones I had down were house, down tempo, and electronic. Would you agree with those genres, or would you say that you have your own particular kind of genre that you would place yourself in?
I think the aim for a band is to make your own sounds and to be recognized as you heard like some few notes and say, okay, that's Massive Attack. Or so the best is to be able to get your own musical identity, and then create kind of a subgenre. But I think it's difficult for us to say, is it like electro pop, synth pop, down tempo, trip hop? I think when we start the band, we put all our influences through a sampler. So like the sampler at this time was like a mixer, and so I think it's a lot of subgenre. Depends on the songs. Maybe this album is more synth pop. It's more pop than before, probably, because we kept on this album the tracks that looks more like songs that can resist time. Because like the tracks were more working on some production skills, they get wasted more easily. So we kept the good songs on the album.
I think with Genetic World, which was the first album, I think there was a lot of hip hop influence. I'm not sure if you would agree. That's what I found. And as you've progressed, like you said, you've created then subgenres where you've broken off into kind of various kind of other kind of genres of music. Like I said, I think Genetic World was a lot of hip hop influence, and with Angel Milk, there was kind of almost, I felt when listening to certain songs from Angel Milk, especially with songs like Nothing's Burning, it had a very kind of cinematic feel.
Yeah, cinematic and jazz influences.
Yes, yes. Especially. Sorry, Chris.
No. And yeah, yes, and Genetic World, we were very influenced by DJ Shadow at that time.
Yeah.
So there was this hip hop culture, and we collaborate with Mo, who was the singer of. It's more about spoken word, but there was also on Genetic World there was Ju Salim, who's like really British hip hop. You know, it's one of the good example at this time. So yeah, but I think it's important. As it's an electronic band, we don't have a proper singer, so it's like featurings. So it's more easy for us to make an evolution about productions, and so I think it's quite natural to have like a new album, different from the two first album.
And you mentioned Massive Attack earlier. I think a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that listen to your music as well, and I know a lot of people actually place you in the era of the likes of Massive Attack, 07, Hooverphonic, Thievery Corporation, you know, the kind of trip hop kind of era. How do you feel about those comparisons, and did you ever reach out to any of those artists to ever potentially work together?
Yeah, I think there was like some similarity back in the days, but I feel, for example, like Thievery Corporations, they have kind of kept the same sound production.
Yes, they have,
and a lot of bands of this period who are still existing today. They, I don't know why they made more the decisions to stay on the very on this kind of on the same on the same schemes of productions.
And that's one of the things I found quite interesting about your new single, is that I feel like it's very kind of new age. I feel like there's a lot of new genres nowadays, so much more than there was previously back in the day. For example, there's like synth waves, synth pop, and I feel like you've kind of incorporated a bit of that into the new single. I'm not sure if you've heard of a band called Wild Nothing. They make music. They're kind of around the era of the new age artists, and I felt like there was a bit of that kind of new age influence when it came to making Dreams. Do you feel that you kind of purposely try to?
That's I don't think it's like new influences. We got these influences from the beginning. I think for example, on this album, there's like about the productions, there's more similarities to the Stranglers, for example, or the way Blondie were producing their track. So I think there's like a strong 80s culture about production. And I think that's the main difference with the production of the two last album. Like Angelique was more in trip hop, jazz, cinematographic, contemplative, melancholy, and Genetic World was more like a jukebox of all, you know, mixing all the influence and trying to make some interaction. And the new one is more 80s pop with like a modern way of producing music, because it's not the same process.
Yeah, there was definitely that influence with the video. There was definitely that kind of nostalgic 80s feel when I was watching it. The
video is about, it's Chernobyl, so it's 1986. So we're completely in the 80s.
And what about I mean, I appreciate you probably won't want to give too much away. I'm a really eager Telepopmusik fan. I would love to know, what can we look forward to in terms of the direction of the album? Are the rest of the songs going to follow suit in terms of the feel or is there going to be kind of various influences with the upcoming album?
You mean in the new album?
Yeah.
No, I think it's mainly it's really pop. It's songs, and so there's maybe one or two songs like which sounds more trip hop, but we were more about writing songs and with this 80s touch and with a Telepop production sound, and so that's the direction we choose by not it's not like let's do this direction. At the end, when we had to choose the track listing, we choose the where we were working together. Kind of.
And currently, in the process of creating the album and kind of finishing it, and just generally, what artists are you currently listening to right now?
I'm listening a lot of as I'm DJing. I'm listening a lot of track to DJ. So I love like record labels like Télépopmusik, German label with Adam Port, Rampa. I like the way it's very groovy, but they have like this cinematographic touch on their production. So I think for me it's very exciting to play this kind of tracks, and I can play some old acid house. I like to mix old stuff and old classics with new production.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the questions that I had on my mind was after the release of Genetic World, Telepopmusik gained a lot of traction, especially in the popular culture, having songs featured in numerous commercials and films. I'm sure you're aware. What was this period like, and how did it affect you from Genetic World to featuring in numerous commercials, numerous films? You know, having your songs everywhere. What was that period like for you?
I think it was unexpected, because at this time, like in France, like there was like new agency who said, okay, let's try to do some commercial with like an artistic point of view, like choosing some good tracks. So that was not that easy, you know. Like Air France did some commercials with Michel Gondry as director. They put the Chemical Brothers. So it was like really the beginning of a new era with like cool music, cool director doing some commercials, and so that was a big chance when we start, and that was money coming in, which is always
that must be nice.
Is always good. but this is kind of over right now, because there's library music, and so there's less money in this business. So then it's those days. Today now it's more difficult to make music and to make money. You have to tour, and then you have a pandemic and you cannot tour anymore. So doing music or movies those days, it's becoming very, very difficult.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I actually wanted to get onto next. I did want to know when you did have hopes for a tour. You know, appreciate right now, you know, all the artists have had to kind of put a halt on their kind of tour dates. Is there any plans for next year?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Sorry, is there any plans for next year in terms of hoping to do
touring?
Tour, yeah.
I think it will not start again before next spring for sure, because the main problem is not about like getting sick, but it's like, for example, for festival, it's a question of insurance.
Yeah.
So like big festival will not take any risk if that if somebody gets sick on the festival, they're afraid to have like the people suing them, and insurance company, they don't want to take the risk, so they will ask for big money to assure the festival, and it's not possible because the economy of festival is very difficult, so they cannot pay insurance more expensive. So I think there will be first like some small concerts, and then we can hope that next summer there will be some festival again. But it will be very difficult to restart this business for sure.
Yeah. Well, me being based in London in the UK, I'm not sure how aware you are of your UK fan base. Have you? I mean, when was the last time you were able to come here, and are you aware of kind of your UK fan base, and the same with elsewhere as well? Because in France, you do have a big name, but are you aware of kind of your larger fan base who are around the world?
Yeah, we used to tour a bit, like for the first album. We did a tour with Lamb. Like we did, we play some few festivals, but there's bigger rivalry, I think, between French band and English bands. Not in between the bands, but there's not so much. I don't know. That's this old rivalry between French and English. So it's not that natural to come to London and play a gig. It has to be organized, and you have to have like a singles working well on radio. It's not so. It's been actually a long time since we last played in England, and it's strange because like Angela, for example, she's Scottish. Mo is completely English, so we should be playing very often, but we are definitely considered as a French band, I think.
Well, one of the questions that
like recently I come to London with my daughter. And she was like, "Wow, I love this city."
It's beautiful.
and I was like, "Yeah, that's a cool city." So I love to come to London, and but I think what I was saying is maybe for live tour it's more easy, but like it's not that easy to play as a DJ, for example.
Okay.
There's more German DJ coming to Paris to play than English DJ, and I think there's not so much French DJ coming to play to London. Like there's big names, but it's not a natural process, unfortunately.
I mean, it is quite unfortunate because it is something that, as a Telepopmusik fan and just a general kind of music fan in general, it's something that I would love to see, and hopefully over the next year. I mean, I'm quite confident that with your new release that you will gain a lot more traction, especially in kind of the new era of music. One of the questions that someone had on your latest video, The Dreams, there was a few comments actually asking. You mentioned, Angela. Is there going to be any future collaborations with her? I know some people.
Oh yeah, there's two songs with her on the new album. But we try to make more songs with her. But I think after two albums with her, it's like and it's a featuring band, so we don't have a main singer. So it was difficult for her to try to understand. So maybe we have done what we were supposed to do together. So there's still two good songs on the new album with her, but it was difficult to write some more with her. And it's very exciting to have new featurings. Like Young and Sick.
Yes,
is a new featuring on the album, and that's exciting. New collaboration.
Yeah, I think with Angela, I think ever since Breathe, everyone has just really loved the collaborations that you two have done. I'm sure you've probably encountered it yourself. People have constantly been asking you, you know, when is the next feature with Angela coming out? Have you experienced a lot of that, or?
But I think Angela was like, she said, like, after the second album, she said, yeah, anyway, we will not do better than what we do with Breathe. So she was like, in some ways, she was saying, yeah, we cannot have like a hit single like we did at this time, because it was, you know, it was unexpected, but like we released this song at the good moment just after 9/11. That was, I think, the perfect song people wanted to listen at this time. So there's no marketing plan for that. You know, you have to write the good song at the right moment, and it was very spontaneous. So yeah, we're very thankful about what's happened about this song. That's already a big chance.
So from the sounds of it, you didn't really anticipate how well it was going to do.
There was something from the beginning. There was something special with this song. Like from the demo, we were feeling something special, but you know, you cannot know in advance that it's gonna work for sure.
Yeah. Well, getting on to the origin of the name Telepop, correct me if I'm wrong, but for those who don't know, you were walking past a shop in Paris one day and you saw the name, I think it was the name, which resonated with you straight away. From that, I gauged that the way Telepopmusik, the way you do things, it's quite patient in terms of how you let things happen. Because I know, you know, when you're starting off and you want, you know, a name for your business or for your group, it's actually quite difficult to do so. I mean, I know this because of, you know, our agency. We tried to tackle a few names. Would you say that generally your process of the way you kind of do things, so the title tracks, the creative process, is it all quite patient? Do you let things happen? Is that the same organic approach that you take to everything generally?
I think my philosophy about making music, it's more like an artisan. It's like you have to work, you have to follow the same line every day. And sometimes you write or produce something that it's kind of magic. You have to look for the magic. And sometimes you do shit, and the next day it's some magic is coming. You don't know why. So, but it's mainly how do you say that, a discipline kind of.
Okay.
Say, okay, every day I'm sitting, I'm at my desk and working. So no, sorry.
I was just gonna ask, what name did you have before you came to the kind of conclusion? Okay, it's going to be Telepopmusik. I'm sure you had a few names considered for.
Yeah, that was terrible. No, but like most of the time you have to choose a name like in 1 hour, because you have to release a songs. They say, okay, we need a name now. And so we made a short list, and it was like, first the short list was like with stupid ideas like jazz. You imagine a band called Jazz.
Well, and it probably would have resonated quite well with your music, but I definitely do prefer that.
No, but that's a stupid name. And that was like my partner Stefan is half Iranian and German, so he was like, he has a special humor, and he was like, yeah, let's call the band Super Schnell, which is like kind of a Nazi name because of SS, you know, like Hitler army. So it was like, thank you, Stefan, for your your idea, but I don't think it's very good. So it was like mostly stupid idea until we went back home from the studio that night, and Fabrice was living next this shop in Paris called Télépopmusik, and I said to her, you have stupid ideas, so let's choose this name at least. At least it's okay. But when you think about band names, you create your own identity, because, like, imagine Oasis. Choose a band name Oasis. It's kind of Oasis in France is like an orange juice. So nobody's gonna call this band Oasis. So then you create your own identity. You put some meaning on the name you have chosen. But I'm quite happy with the one we have chosen.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I think it's all about kind of the history of how you chose it. And for example, you didn't expect to walk past the shop one day and think, oh yeah, this is going to be the
no. And then it's making okay. The name was lighting in the night.
Well, you have a huge fan base of all ages. What advice would you give to musicians who are kind of just beginning their careers? Is there kind of any kind of particular advice you would kind of give to them that maybe you've learned, maybe during kind of
it's like it changed so much since the time we began the band. Like, it's it was really record companies. There was no digital. Now it's like I don't know what to say. I think it's more and more easy to produce music. You can have your own studio. You can release everything from your laptop, decide when it's going to be released, where. So it's more easier to release songs, but at the same time there's no money anymore. So I mean, like, most of the musicians today, they're doing artwork, they're producing the music, they're releasing the music. So it's like that's interesting, because it's like a full, complete way of making music. But I don't know, like, if touring is not possible anymore for months, I guess a lot of bands will stop making music and get some jobs to pay the rent. And already a lot of musicians, they are leaving Paris, for example, going to the countryside to spend less money. And so it's again changing a lot because of this pandemic, and we will see. There will always be. I'm not worried. It's natural process for humans to make music or rhythm. So, but and it's good. It's good that nothing is written in marbles. Like that, you have to reinvent constantly the way of making music, which is good.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you feel like artwork plays a big part nowadays in the kind of, I guess, the promotion of the music. What are you doing to adapt to fitting in and to making sure that your music is still recognized? Have you got a team? Let's say some artists that maybe will do the kind of the artwork for you, and do you have maybe some...
No. I'm doing everything. I'm making the videos with some very close friends. I'm doing myself the artwork on my phone. No, which is exciting, but when you cannot pay people, when you don't have budget, you have to find solutions. And when we start the band, like, we were on some big major company, Capital, and they were paying some insane budget to produce a video, which is in some ways, which is stupid. But no, it's the complete opposite. There's absolutely no budget. So, but it's pushing you to have like good ideas and make it things happening. But I hope we definitely need some money.
Would you say that you've taken that same kind of individual creative process in your previous albums as well, or have you had kind of more people to help you out in terms of the artwork, the production? Would you say that you've kind of always been quite individual with the way that you've done things, or is it only now that you've taken this approach due to the pandemic?
No, like we always got like some try to create like a artistic think tank about, like, for example, the video, the Breeze video. There was money, but like I gave the idea to Jordan Scott, who's the daughter of Ridley Scott. At that time, I gave her the reference of a brave new world, you know, Aldous Huxley's famous book. And okay, I think you have to connect with this book. The song is and the video, the result is completely an interpretation of a brave new world too. So, but there was money, so I just gave the idea, and I was not on the shooting. She was free to do whatever she wants. But we always been in to have like it's important, I think, to have the control of your image, even if it's more difficult. If it was more difficult with a major company, because they have their own marketing ideas.
Yeah. This is a question that I would love to know the answer to. When you did start to gain the commercial success, you know, featuring in a lot of commercials, films, adverts, what was it like with your friends and family? Did you have a lot of people kind of hitting you up like, oh my gosh, you know, I just heard your song on the radio, I just heard your song on the film, I saw it on the advert? Did you have a lot of kind of old friends hitting you up, and you know, what was it like?
I think my family, my parents, they were happy for me, because they were kind of worried to see me making music, because they were thinking, oh, you're not gonna earn money, and and your real good friends, they're happy for you, and the other ones, they're kind of when you have a big success, they're kind of jealous, to be honest. Because a lot of people thought we have been super lucky, which is kind of true. It was completely unexpected. Because people, they like the idea of, okay, you have to suffer before getting success, and for us it was quite quick in the process. So and we always been, you know, stuck in between underground and mainstream. We are not really mainstream, we're not underground, so we were in between two worlds. So, but that was not a problem for us. But like people, they like to, or journalists in general, they like to put you in some case, like this band is like in.
I can imagine when you did start to gain that success, it was probably like you probably had a moment of realization, you know, we can actually do this. I mean, I'm sure you always had that belief in yourself anyway, but when you started to kind of see the success, you probably thought to yourself, okay, this is it now. Like, you know, we've taken off. It's only up from here. Did you kind of ever stop for a moment and just sit down and think, wow, okay, like I've made it?
Yeah, not at the time. Afterwards, we will say, okay, we've been so lucky. But at the time, you're surfing the waves. You don't want to lose the wave.
Of course. I think with a lot of people, especially with a lot of artists, you know, you can gain success and then fall off the ladder very quickly. But from the music that you've put out since Genetic World, it shows that you've only ever kind of evolved, even if you might not have had a single as big as Breathe. That
maybe we should have, but maybe we should have like maybe go on the same, try to write the next Breathe and stay on what on the productions we had success, but then I think it was difficult. We were more exciting in producing Angel Mink.
Yeah.
And Angel Mink, there's no big hit single. It's more an album to listen, with your headphones and being melancholic.
Yeah.
So that was not very clever as a strategy to get, to keep going with the success. But I think the new album is still something different, and that's probably why we're still existing. It's like we are trying to be excited ourselves before trying to excite people.
What various themes are going to occur in this new album? Is it going to be kind of a mix of kind of melancholy, nostalgia, a bit of kind of some up-tempo kind of music, similar to?
It's more pop. So it's more pop songs produced in an electronic way. So it's more tempo for sure. There's less down-tempo songs. So
yeah.
So I think it's like it will surprise for sure the people who are like fans of Angela, and so maybe we're gonna lose some fans, but I think it's still the same mood, way of mixing tracks together, and it's the same love of music. So most of the people, I think, will like it. I hope so.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will. I mean, I really can't wait. But lastly, I just wanted to touch on, and please tell me that this is true. But from Genetic World, I mean, generally when artists make albums, there's always a few leftovers that never really made the cut, and they just end up kind of just staying there. Nothing happens. Sometimes you'll find that later on they end up getting released. Is there any leftovers from previous albums, Genetic World, Angel Milk?
Yeah, few ones, but they are not finished. The production is not finished. There are more like demos, and now they are like stuck somewhere in some computer, and it's unborn songs. I think they have to stay where they are.
So there won't be any kind of demo tape one day where you've just released.
No. I think we have released everything which was I think good. Like the one we're still in the computer are not that good, I think.
Well, okay. So just to leave your fans with something between now and the album, what can we expect from now to the 25th? Is there going to be any other singles? What can we expect from Telepopmusik?
No, like there's like some remixes of Dreams that will be released next week. With like zombies in Miami. They are Mexicans.
Yep.
They have done a remix. Then there's a French guy called Everydays. He did like versions, and a South Korean producer who loved Modulus. We did a remix as well. And then it's gonna be the album release. Maybe there will be a new single in October. But we really want to concentrate on the album release, because most of the fans, they were really expecting a new album. So we don't need to release a new single for the album release. That's why we're trying to prepare the release as much as good as possible, and that's already a lot of job.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I hope people will like those new songs.